MidLife Awareness. Probably the most common story I experienced when I did peer counseling was the disillusioned married guy. Most of these guys were professionals, mid to late 30s, and all their stories were the same. I feel like I've done everything anyone ever expected of me for the past 10 to 15 years, and I get no appreciation for it. These guys did the right thing, and either their wives were unresponsive to them, or they still viewed these men as a fixer-upper project that they'd been perpetually working on over a 20-year marriage. This experience is what helped me to better understand the myth of the midlife crisis. Men, in most Western cultures, do in fact experience a midlife crisis. But this isn't due to a trivialized and oft ridiculed pop culture reasoning. Women and feminization would have us believe that men experiencing a midlife crisis need to buy a sports car or divorce their wives in favor of a trophy wife due to some repressed need to recapture their lost youth. This, of course, fits into the feminized myth that men are egoistic, simple creatures, and masculinity is infantile in nature. But this only serves to reassure women that they still got it at 40. The truth about men's midlife crisis isn't about recapturing youth. It's about finally understanding the trappings they've been sold into through their 20s and 30s and coming to terms with that often horrible truth. They are forced to confront the part they've inadvertently played in facilitating a woman's sexual strategy that was sold to him as his feminine correct social responsibility. They come to the point on the timeline when a woman's maturity phase places her in the more necessitous position that he's been in for the greater part of his 20s and likely half of his 30s. He's emotionally invested in her, or if not, the idealism of how he was sold a healthy relationship should be, and this conflicts with both his realizing his SMV or his lost potential of it, and confronting the reality of the part he played in facilitating her duplicitous sexual strategy. Some men do in fact buy the sports car, get the new hottie wife, or act in some fashion that appears reckless and irresponsible. This isn't due to infantilism, but rather a new understanding of their own position as men. They've lived responsibly for so long and for so little appreciation that when that true realization is made, they feel the need to move. The true nature of the game that's been perpetrated on them becomes clear, and they need to react. They become respected, put in the hours, the sacrifice, the centering of their own views, priorities, and imperatives. They realize now they've sold off true passions in favor of maintaining what others have told him was his responsibility, whether it was his choice or not. And all for what? A fat wife? A shrew? Maybe even a fantastic marriage and a wonderful family life, but also a nagging doubt about not seeing enough of the world or accomplishing what he wanted to do by 40 because of it. A nagging doubt that he's not living up to his curse of potential. In truth, I worry about men who don't come to this crisis. These are the men who are truly lost. These are the guys who remain lifelong blue pills, happy in their ignorance or forcing down truths too terrible to acknowledge. The mature man. I once got into an interesting debate about the reasons why mature men tend to opt for younger women with whom to settle down with. As is to be expected from femme screech and their male enablers, the social shaming mechanisms abounded. Most of these are some variation of the men's fragile egos canard, or the "a real man would want to get with a woman his own age" trope. This quote pretty much summed up the opposing point. Older guys want to bang college girls for the same reason many older women like dating younger guys: to live in a state of suspended youth and be reminded that they still got it. I half agree. Older women definitely want to think they still got it, with regards to their capacity to hold the attention of younger guys they find themselves in competition with younger women for. However, older men who naturally pursue younger women come to realize that they've finally got it. Why wouldn't a guy of 40 have a natural preference for the younger women after reaching a level of maturity and accomplishment that allows him this? Professional women tied to the male template of life's progression tend to think that they too should be entitled to the sexual attraction of eligible men by virtue of their mature achievements, professional status, education, and some imagined sense of knowing themselves better. They are mistaken.